So tell me something. Are you the only one in your house trying to cut back on sugar and processed foods, or just trying to eat a little better while everyone else is doing their own thing? It can feel especially frustrating if you are a busy entrepreneur juggling work, life, and trying to live healthier. And sometimes you may not even know how to deal with it without causing tension. Today, I'm sharing 4 tips to help you stay consistent with your health, keep the peace at home, and positively influence your loved one without pressure or pushback. To help me dig a little deeper, I sat down with a few couples who have made lifestyle changes together to hear how they handle the challenges and what helped them stay on the same page. So stick around to the end because what they shared might completely shift how you think about making healthy changes in your home. So after hearing from so many entrepreneurs who felt stuck, frustrated, and unsupported at home while trying to live healthier, I knew I had to create this video. Because the truth is that this is where a lot of people get stuck. You're grocery shopping, trying to eat clean, cutting back on sugar while building a business, managing stress, and staying on top of everything. Meanwhile, your partner is ordering fast food, bringing home snacks, or just not getting it. And that gap, it adds pressure, creates conflict, and make it 10 times harder to stick to your goals. We don't talk about it enough. How much our environment, especially the people closest to us, shape our habits. And when your home doesn't support the person you are trying to become, your progress starts to feel like a fight. So I wanted to bring these concerns to light, to give you something more than motivation. I want to leave you with real, practical solutions from people who have figured out how to make it work together. So let's jump into tip number 1. Stop trying to force your lifestyle onto your partner. I know you want your partner to be on board. It is completely normal. I know it comes from a good place. You have made some changes. You feel better. And naturally, you want the people you love to feel the same way. Pushing your lifestyle onto your partner, even with the best intention, is not the right approach. Why? Because people don't like being told what to do, even if it's good for them. And besides that, their partner didn't sign up for this change. You did. So when you start policing their plate or making them feel guilty for not joining in, it creates resistance and worse, resentment. If your partner feels judged or controlled, the conversation is over before it starts. But you have been there also. Think back on the time before you decided to eat better, move more, or take health seriously. How would you have wanted someone to approach you? With pressure or with patience? So try this approach instead. Focus on modeling the behavior first. Let them see the changes in you, the increased energy, the consistency, the mindset. That is more powerful than any lecture. Indirectly invite them to be a part of your journey by keeping healthy options in the fridge or cupboard where they are visible and accessible. Cook a meal and offer them a bite. Comment any positive change you see in them. No, this part is important. Don't make the goal to change your partner. Instead, focus on creating an environment where they feel respected, encouraged, and free to make the right decision in their own time. Now, I was here laughing to myself. It is so easy to know what to do, and it's another story to actually do it. So I just want you to know it's also a struggle for me. And that's why I have to ask God to help me to let go of the need to control people or situation and instead leave it in His hands. Tip number 2, cook 2 separate meals. Sorry to break it to you, but that firm stance of, well, I'm done cooking what my partner likes because it's not good for him or her. You might want to take a second look at that. Now, this came up in one of my interviews, and it led to a real deep conversation. I couldn't see another way around it. The more we discussed it, I kept thinking, how can I expect someone to cook 2 separate meals when they're already struggling to stay consistent with their health? And on top of that, dealing with the internal conflict that comes with making something for someone else that you no longer believe is good for them. But one of the conclusions we made was that if you truly care about protecting your relationship, not just pushing your new lifestyle, you must realize that respect and peace at home matters as much as what's on your plate. And listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with ordering takeouts every now and again or eating out together, especially if it gives you an ease, more flexibility, or moments together. Sometimes the healthiest things you can do is lower the tension, not just lower the calories. Now, if you were talking about children, that's a different story. They don't get as much say in the matter. It's simple. You eat what's prepared or go to bed hungry. But even with kids, I will still try to make the transition as smooth as possible. And if they're old enough, let them cook for themselves. But I will also say this. If you want better buy-in at home from your kids and your partner, you might need to step up your cooking game. If your healthy food is bland, of course, there will be pushback. So let me share a bit about my sister's story. She and her family made some changes a few years back to their diet. They stopped eating processed food and cut out sugar altogether. Now, my nephew had the hardest time adjusting because he no longer had the snacks and the cereal he was accustomed eating. So I had a little heart to heart with him to try to understand what he was going through back then. So he told me that initially he was kind of sad, but over time he realized it wasn't so bad because his parents tried to find healthier alternatives that he could still enjoy. He said they weren't as sweet, but he got used to them. So here's the takeaway. Being able to put a healthier spin on your family's favorite meals, that's a skill worth developing. It shows them that they don't have to give up their favorite food, just experience it in a new, more nourishing way. And that kind of approach, it builds trust, respect, and long-term change without resistance. So let's move on to tip number 3. Introduce simple swaps. So one of the most encouraging things I have learned in this journey is that you don't have to give up your favorite meals to eat healthier. You just need to learn how to make smarter swaps. The truth is, many foods we grew up loving, like macaroni pie, sweet potato pie, brownies, can all be made in a more nourishing way without losing the flavor. No, I'm not saying you will get perfect on the first try. Some swaps will definitely take a bit of experimenting. You may need to adjust taste, texture, or how you prepare certain ingredients. But just know it is possible. And when you get it right, it's going to feel like a big win for your entire family. So to make this process a whole lot easier for you, I created a simple guide called Smart Swaps for Busy Bosses, and it's completely free. It's designed for entrepreneurs primarily, but it can be used by anyone who wants to make healthier meals. Inside, you will find easy ingredient swaps for baking, like how to replace refined sugar, flour, or unhealthy oils. Bonus tips for everyday cooking, like what to use instead of processed sauces or heavy creams, and how to make meals more nutrition dense without adding extra time or stress to your day. So you can download it for free using the link in the description. But now I'm going to touch on a few simple changes you can start making almost immediately. So let's start with your cooking oil. So many vegetable and seed oil that we grew up using, like canola, soya bean, or corn oil, are cheap and heavily processed. Over time, they can contribute to inflammation and throw your body off balance, especially when used at high heat. So instead, start using healthier, more stable fats like avocado oil, extra virgin coconut oil, or ghee. The next aspect I want to talk about is packaged foods. Even when something looks healthy on the front, the ingredient list always tells you the real story. So when you shop, get in the habit of flipping your packaging over to see the labels. Look for clean ingredients, a short list that includes real food names, no additive or preservative. If you see words that you can't pronounce, you know that they have been chemicals. So let's talk about cheese. Because I know some of you are not ready to give up that anytime soon. So if you and your family love cheese, you don't have to eliminate it. Just look for a healthier alternative. You can swap out processed cheese slices or those shredded brands that are full of additives for healthier options like goat cheese, nut-based cheese, feta. These types of cheese tend to be less processed and easier to digest and still give you that creamy, satisfying flavor without all the added junk. So the key takeaway here is start small. Choose 1 or 2 of these swap and then build from there. So tell me below, what is the first small change you are making? So let's move on to the last step. Keep the lines of communication open. When you're trying to live healthier and the people around you aren't on the same page, it's easy to get frustrated, but holding it in never helps. Instead, talk about it, honestly but gently. Let your partner or family know how you are feeling, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of vulnerability. Try saying something like, I have been making a few changes for my health, and I would love to talk about how we can support each other in this season. This health journey is important to me, and I just wanted to share what I'm working on and hear your thoughts too. Keep the conversation open, and more importantly, keep it two-sided. Ask how they feel, what challenges they are facing, where they might be more open to trying something different. Because when people feel respected, they are more likely to listen. And when they feel heard, they are more likely to change. And listen, don't be afraid to seek help. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do for your relationship and your growth is to get outside support. That could be a mentor, a health coach, or even just someone who has been through it and can give perspective without judgment. Remember, you don't have to figure this out alone, and there is no shame in needing guidance.